If you hear a noise in the background of this episode, it was the AC unit because we sat next to the air conditioning unit and it was really loud. And hopefully you enjoy this episode of the Toddcast. What is it like to be a college student in today's world? What's next for the DC franchise? And how hyped are we for the Loki Marvel series? Well, we talk about all that and more on this episode of the Toddcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toddcast. As always, I'm your host, Todd McManus. And today is a very special episode because joining me is one of my good friends. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jacob Young. Jacob, how are you doing today?
Doing well, Todd. How are you doing?
Doing good. Welcome. It's your first time being a guest on the Toddcast.
I'm honored to be here.
And, well, that's good.
Well, you're here, actually.
I am here.
We're in my home.
Yeah, we're coming to you not live from Jacob's apartment. And we have a special guest, Francie the cat, is also here, so you may hear her. Exactly. So, first off, you can, if you want to, you can tell the listeners a little bit about yourself. That way, for those of you that don't know you,
well, I'm 21. I'm a college student finishing up a bachelor's in psychology, and I am starting graduate school in the fall to pursue a master's in clinical mental health counseling, and then I plan to pursue a PhD in either substance use disorders or something related to the counseling field. Aside from that, I like a lot of the same things as you. Sports, video games, and movies and TV.
That's true. We literally have paused Breaking Bad right now, just on the TV. So, with all that being said, first off, I have a question for you.
What's that?
What did you think about the Snyder Cut?
That was a 4-hour movie that I wish was longer.
Because you didn't see the original, have you?
No, I never saw the original Justice League. So I've only heard how bad it was. But the Snyder Cut was everything that I had hoped it would be and more. It's probably one of my favorite superhero films. You know, I think it's, in terms of DC, it's up there with the Dark Knight trilogy work.
Yeah.
And in terms of their better films. And just the story behind how it got made was pretty cool. Because, you know, they weren't going to make it, but the fans kind of wouldn't let them get away with not putting it out there.
And all the actors jumped on it, too. Because Jason Momoa was one of them. And then it was basically going to happen once Ben Affleck jumped with them. And they were like, everybody wants to do this.
What do you think about Ben as Batman?
I think Ben Affleck, I think he's good as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he gives off like really good Bruce Wayne vibes.
Like the look of him, like whenever you see any kind of like cartoon or animated movie, or even in the comic books, he has that look.
Yeah.
But
he looks too bulky to be Batman.
He's all chest. like
if you look at Christian Bale in the Batman suit and then Ben Affleck in the Batman suit, it's so different. But
I think he was pretty good because he originally was supposed to make a Batman movie, and he was going to direct it himself.
Oh, really?
Because he's directed movies before. He directed Gone Girl, that movie.
Okay.
And him and Matt Damon made that movie with Robin Williams that they won an Oscar for that I don't remember the name of. But yeah, like he was gonna write it and direct it, but then he said you don't know the stress it is about being Batman. Because once you get into like the comic book world, he's like the world just all eyes are on you to have a good Batman movie. He's like he didn't want to turn out to be the next George Clooney Batman.
Especially that character. It's, you know, think superheroes, he's one of the
top 3 or whatever, you know, because it's like him, Superman, and then like Spider-Man are the top ones, you know.
Yeah.
And he, I think his Batman would be a darker Batman than others, you know.
I hope DC can use this to kind of put some foundation on their cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Because personally, I like the DC characters and stories better than Marvel, but they just really haven't had their act together with their movies. Like, it's so inconsistent. They haven't flown well together.
Yeah.
So I hope they kind of change their mind and let Snyder make more movies. Because, you know, they said they're not going to.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think that'd be a mistake.
Well, I don't know what they're doing. You know, like, and one of the, it was funny. The other day, one of the guys who's listed as like a creator or something on the credits of the 2017 Justice League movie contacted Warner Brothers and said, I want you to take my name off of the credits and only have it on the Snyder Cut version.
Really?
Because he didn't want any association with the original version. And then, like, Joss Whedon, who directed it after Snyder left, was apparently, like, terrible to the cast.
There's like a ton of stories going on about how
he threatened to end Gal Gadot's career if she didn't do the reshoots.
Yeah, didn't he say he would like make her look stupid?
Yeah, he said he was going to make the Wonder Woman suit look stupid, and you were going to be a terrible Wonder Woman, is what he said to her. And then now, like, I don't even know what he's done since then.
Kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, like he's over with it now because he worked on the the first Avengers movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He worked on it. And then that's what they said. He took what Snyder already did with Justice League and made it more Marvel-esque in the 2017 version. And it's like, you can't make a Justice League movie exactly like an Avengers movie because they're not the same characters, you know.
Yeah. I just like how DC has a little darker edge to their stuff.
But I think he should continue his movies. As of right now, and they even said that they don't have a plan, really, of what to do. Like, what they're doing next is that they're doing a Flash movie, and he's going to go, I don't even know what's going on in that movie. Apparently, he's going to run so fast with the Speed Force and go into different realities, and he's going to erase the Snyderverse, and they're going to restart. They're on a new DC universe.
Interesting.
But what he's doing is that apparently he's running into different realities that are also the realities of different Batman movies. He's running into the Michael Keaton Batman movie, the Ben Affleck his Batman's going to show up. There's a rumor he's going to show up in the Dark Knight movies with Christian Bale's Batman, and then he's going to show up in the alternate reality where the story of Batman and Bruce and his parents getting killed in the alley. The alternate is that Bruce gets killed, his parents live, his mom turns into the Joker, and his dad turns into a Batman that uses guns. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan was his dad, and that he would play that alternate dark Batman. But
I had not seen that. That's interesting.
They made an animated movie about that, which was like Atlantis started a war with Amazon, and it was Aquaman against Wonder Woman.
Isn't the Robert Pattinson Batman after that?
Yeah, that's his own thing too.
I'm not excited for that.
I think it'll be pretty good, you know? Like, I don't know. I just gotta wait and see. Like, the last big thing I remember him being in was Twilight. And he's did a bunch of indie movies since then, since like 10 years ago or however long that was, you know. And that was a big hit, of course, but it's like, you can't say, oh, a guy in Twilight's going to play Batman.
Yeah.
And take it seriously. He could be, but who knows? I think he could surprise.
He's like the opposite of Ben Affleck. He doesn't look like Bruce Wayne at all.
Yeah. And
is he still super pasty?
Robert Pattinson?
Yeah.
I think so, but that kind of fits with the darker tone of... He's not big, though. Like Batman, you know? Like, Batman's ripped. Bruce is, you know? And the only cool thing about his suit that I'll say is that the bat on the front of his suit is made out of the gun that killed his parents.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, you can see like they took a gun and ripped it in half and he put it across there, you know. So, I think it'll be good. They have finished filming it, and I think it's going to come out like at the beginning of next year, in 2022. And it's like the main villains are like the Penguin and the Riddler.
I'm definitely going to see it. I honestly just don't know what to expect.
Yeah. Like, it's a Batman movie called The Batman.
I'll see any Batman movie.
Yeah. And like and there's rumors that it will tie in with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, which have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
It was good, wasn't it?
The movie was great.
Like, because I remember I saw it in theaters. It's been so long.
I just saw that movie a few weeks ago.
Before the pandemic happened, you know, I'm like, what was the last movie I saw in theaters, to be honest with you, was Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker in December 2019. Me and actually multi-time guest Jaron actually went and saw it in December of 2019, which is weird to think of because we saw that movie and then I started doing this, the Toddcast, the next month, and then the pandemic happened and COVID already started basically, but we weren't locked down until March of last year, you know.
I think the last movie I saw in theaters was Uncut Gems. Did you see that one?
With Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
It's pretty good. Like, I didn't know what to expect with him playing a serious role, but
he did pretty good.
Something, man.
Because every time I see him, I only think of the Grown Ups movies.
Yeah.
Which are great movies.
Like, he was like Oscar worthy in that movie.
Yeah.
But you know, it's Adam Sandler, so he didn't get considered for Oscar.
Yeah. Which, I actually did see a movie in the pandemic, actually. After they opened up, I saw Tenet, the Christopher Nolan movie.
I just stopped paying for movie tickets because they're all on HBO.
Yeah. Which, I like how HBO Max is doing that thing of, like what they did with Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good movie, in my opinion.
It was.
For a monster fighting movie.
It was what I expected. Storyline that's weak and makes no sense, but I got to see big monsters fight.
Like, that's all you want.
Yeah.
Like, it's better than them older Godzilla movies that is like, you don't see them until the end. Where it's like you may see like an eye or a tail go by. Like how they used to do that with Jurassic Park, you know?
Well, that's because they didn't have CGI.
Well, yeah. But the first Jurassic Park looked good. A little back in the day, you know.
I don't know if I've seen that, actually.
Which is pretty good. A lot of people love it. Which they were doing that with theaters, to be honest. They were re-releasing old movies. Like whenever I went to the theaters, they had Jurassic Park, Empire Strikes Back, and The Goonies.
Weren't they playing Avatar?
I think so. They replayed it in China and it took back the number one spot.
Didn't it take back?
Yeah, it just beat Endgame again. And they said Disney, I think it was a rumor, but I think they were once the pandemic ended, they were talking about re-releasing Endgame for like a month just to see if they could retake the number one spot. They probably would, because there's a bunch of dedicated people out there that will do that. Because there was a guy who saw who set the record, and he saw Endgame like 100 times in theaters.
I saw it once, and I don't really have any interest in seeing it again.
Yeah. I've seen the whole movie like twice, and I've seen the battle at the very end probably like 20 times. Because it always pops up on like Instagram or Facebook, and it's like, oh, the greatest Marvel battle ever. You know, greatest battle in comic book history movies, you know.
Yeah.
But, which speaking of Marvel, talk about that on the Disney side, you know. You watched some of WandaVision.
Yeah, well, I finished it finally.
What'd you think of that show?
It was better than I expected it to be, because I didn't plan on watching it at all.
Yeah.
And then I just happened to be at somebody's house when they watched the first episode, and I was like, that's kind of trippy. I want to see the rest of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. And you've kept up with the Marvel movies probably too.
Yeah, I think I've
seen most of them at
I've
least.
seen everything except for the new series.
The Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I haven't started that yet.
I think it's pretty good. I watched, because this is being recorded on Friday, the day before it releases this episode, and I watched today's episode while I ate Sonic for lunch.
How many weeks into it are
I think this is episode 4.
they? They say how many?
I think it's only 6.
Oh wow.
Cause it's like each episode's almost an hour long, but they're like moving through with it. Like they're like, all right, let's do this. Let's go get this person and be done with it, you know. And yeah, I think it's pretty good. I'm gonna finish watching it, and then the next Marvel series comes out June 11th, and that is the Loki series, which follows in Endgame the Loki when they went back to 2012 Avengers to get the Tesseract and the Staff and the Mind Stone when Hulk went over there to get it too. Whenever that first Avengers movie, Loki grabbed the Tesseract and went back in time or teleported somewhere else, it follows his Loki, because the Loki of their time is dead. Because, you know, in Infinity War, Thanos killed him. So.
Isn't that Black Widow movie coming out soon? Or they
July. They delayed it again. It comes out in I actually have it written down. Black Widow releases in theaters and on Disney Plus for $30 on Disney Plus on July 9th.
Oh, no.
They did the same thing with the live-action Mulan movie whenever it came out last year.
That one they filmed in China?
Yeah. And they, which was like a war movie too, you know. And they did that with that, and I didn't get it, which I still haven't seen that Mulan movie either. But they're doing that with Black Widow because they're hopefully gonna make money, you know. Because I mean, movie tickets, at least for our theater here, is like $7 or $8 a ticket, you know. And then that's one person, and then $30 for one household, one Disney Plus account, and then once you buy it, you have it forever. As long as you have the account, you know.
I just like the HBO model better. Like where if you're subscribed, you can watch any of them.
For 1 month.
Yeah, well, because with I don't really buy movies because I don't watch them again.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm already paying for a Disney Plus subscription, and then I'd have to pay more for the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, $30? That's high.
Yeah, like that's...
I didn't know...
That price, $30, is basically like the same price as a DVD nowadays, too.
Yeah.
From Walmart or wherever. But I'm just going to go see it in theaters. I mean, it's July 9th, and what is it? It's April whatever today. It's April
9th?
April 9th today. Yeah, it's literally in 3 months. And it's like by then, like, even though theaters are open now, and you can go if you want, you know. But it's like by then, COVID will die down more, and more people will be able to be like, hey, we'll allow more people in theaters. And there is no doubt that, COVID or not, theaters are going to pack out for Black Widow.
Yeah.
Because it's a Marvel movie.
Scarlett Johansson movie.
And you're not wrong. And I think it's going to be good. But it's just finishing her story, even though she's dead. Spoiler. But not a spoiler, really. That was like 2 years ago. But, God, that seems weird to me. That Endgame came out 2 years ago. That's wild.
It is wild.
And the last Marvel movie that came out was Spider-Man No Way Home, which came out in July 2019. And the next one we're getting is July of this year, 2021. So it's like 2 years after a Marvel movie. But I'm just glad we got the series. You know, we got that. We got WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then June 11th is Loki. And then we'll have the What If show starts in July to August around that time.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And that's going to be good.
I think so too.
And then Miss Marvel and Hawkeye are still going to come out at the end of this year. and then that'll end Marvel's run for a little while, because then they'll go back to doing Star Wars. They got season 3 of The Mandalorian they're going to work on. They got the Book of Boba Fett that they're going to work on. On May 4th of this year, next month, is Star Wars The Bad Batch, which is based on the Bad Batch from the last season of the Clone Wars. And, God, they talked about it because it premieres May 4th, which is a Tuesday, which is Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
But then it starts, a new episode will come out every Friday after that. But the premiere episode of this show, it's a series on Disney Plus, and the premiere episode is an hour-and-a-half episode of an animated Star Wars show. That's basically the same formula as the Clone Wars.
Wait, so Bad Batch is animated?
Yeah. It's Clone Wars animated.
Okay.
Like the Clone Wars TV show.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is, but it's the Bad Batch and following their story. Because people liked them, and then they were like, you know what, we'll make a show about it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be good, and you'll probably be excited if we're going to go to the Star Wars side of Disney right now. Filming has already begun of the Obi-Wan Kenobi's Disney Plus series.
That was the one I was most excited about, because they announced like 10 things, 9 or 10 things.
Yeah.
And some of them looked cool, but that one makes me, because you know how I love the prequels.
Oh, yeah.
So, and when I saw Hayden Christensen was coming back,
No, that was like,
I'm just curious as to how they're going to work that in.
like he's just going to be Vader. I think he's going to show up in
Or
flashbacks
yeah.
as Anakin.
Yeah.
But I think because they said Hayden Christensen returns as Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader, because this is taking place in between episode 3 and 4, after Order 66, this is episode 66, so it's fitting, you know. And then before episode 4 starts. And they said it's going to be apparently just one season.
That sucks.
But it spans like that's like 20 years at least. Because, I mean, Luke was a baby, and then he was grown in episode 4, you know?
Does it just take place in that time period, or does it cover that time period?
I think it just takes place during any of that time of friend. Like, it's not going to start where episode. I think that's what it should do. Star Wars 3 ended, and then end right at the beginning of 4. Because that's what Rogue One did. It ended right the minute where episode 4 started, you know.
That's such an underrated Star Wars movie.
Rogue One.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it.
One of the best ones.
Which people hated Solo when it came out.
I like Solo.
People hated it when it came out. People thought it was stupid, and they didn't like it. But now everybody wants Solo too.
And they probably saw the rest of the Disney trilogy.
I think that's why, that they saw The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker and all them, you know. And then people were like, you know what? We want a sequel to the Solo movie. Because they want to see what happens after that.
Yeah.
And then you saw what happens
They
at the
left
end of
it on a
that.
huge
Darth
cliffhanger.
Maul showed up. And then they're like, it's getting interesting. Because now we really need a Darth
It
Maul.
was like, that dude died like 7 movies ago.
But I'm really excited for it. And yeah, I just really like what they're doing and going to do with Star Wars, you know. And I did want to ask you a Star Wars related question that at the end of last year, towards the end of last year, you watched all of them.
Yeah.
You watched 1 through 9,
First time.
Solo, and Rogue One.
Yep.
Which that's all of them, isn't it? I think so. That's 11 movies.
Yeah.
So, out of all 11 of those movies, what is your favorite and least favorite Star Wars movie, and why?
My favorite is Revenge of the Sith,
Good choice.
because I love the prequels. That movie is just, it's a beautiful movie to me, but it also is, it's memeable.
That's where all the memes come from.
It is. My least favorite is Last Jedi, but I didn't hate it as much as everyone else did.
Yeah.
Like, in the context of, like, the Star Wars franchise and the story, I think it's ridiculously stupid. As someone just sitting here watching it, you know, there was parts of it I enjoyed, but it's part of the bigger picture. It's really dumb.
As a movie, it's good.
Yeah, like the special effects in it are insane.
Yeah.
but the plot and what they did with the story was embarrassing.
Well, it wasn't the same director, too.
Yeah, because they undid a lot of what in 9.
Yeah.
They undid a lot of what happened in 8.
Because J.J. Abrams did 7 and 9, and Rian Johnson did 8. And that was the original plan, was that either J.J. was going to do all 3, like his own Star Wars trilogy, or they were going to do a different director for each one to get a different take, but keep the same story going. But then they tried that with Rian Johnson. They were like, we don't want this.
Yeah.
So then J.J. had to come back and be like, okay, well, this happened, and then he was supposed to have a bigger story plan for Snoke, who was basically meaningless in the entire last trilogy,
Yeah.
Because he was just there in 7, and then he died for no reason, honestly, in Episode 8.
Well, the character development across the board was poor in the Disney trilogy.
Kylo Ren's the best character in the whole trilogy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because he actually did something. Like, he actually had development. Like you said, like, Rey was just there, and Finn just yelled Rey the entire trilogy.
Kathleen Kennedy's got a great operation going.
Yeah.
At Lucasfilms.
Like, a lot of people don't like her for what she did just between those 3. And they said that she was going to ruin the Star Wars franchise because they were like, they wanted to put, because now that they talk about it, people still don't like her. And a lot of people want either Dave Filoni to take her spot, the guy who created the Clone Wars animated show, and George Lucas himself said that Dave Filoni's like his protege of Star Wars.
Is the other one John Favreau?
Yeah. And everybody knows him as either Happy Hogan from the Iron Man and Avengers movies, and also the director of The Mandalorian.
He also did a lot of production on the Marvel films.
Yeah, he directed Iron Man 2 and 3, or one of them. He directed one of the Iron Man movies himself. But he's amazing in himself, especially with the Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the greatest shows.
Him and Dave Filoni are a great team.
Like, yeah. And the way Jon Favreau lets other directors come in, and direct a different episode. Like, he directs one, Dave Filoni. They had some other people come in and direct them, and it was like, let's have your take on this and your take on this. And that's why it's like, they all flow together, but you can tell each episode is different. They have a different feel to it because it's a different director. And I like that, and I feel like The Mandalorian was well fit to do that, and I'm excited to see what they do with it, which next year is going to be a completely different beast. 2022, because of a lot of the movies that were delayed are coming out next year. Yeah. A lot of these shows that were delayed are also coming out next year. And that includes even animated series, like for Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever, too, because they weren't able to get in the studio and make them, know. And people weren't able to do voiceovers unless you do it like over the phone or something, which sounds crappy. So, because a lot of the Marvel shows and Star Wars shows are going to start overlapping next year, to where they can't put out, in my opinion, they can't put out an episode of The Mandalorian and an episode of a Marvel show on the same day.
Yeah. I
said they need to do one on Friday and one on Tuesday, and those are good days apart. And I thought that's what they were going to do with the Bad Batch. Like, they could have Star Wars on Tuesday and Marvel has Friday now.
Yeah.
But Disney, before you know it, in the next 5 years, they'll be putting out a new episode of something every day of the week.
And they own every freaking media company.
I mean, yeah, you'll have Marvel one day, Star Wars another day, National Geographic another day. So you can have whatever you want. Which I mean, they're all doing their other Disney Channel stuff too and all that, But like they're doing something with the Mighty Ducks or whatever. I ain't really paid attention to that, but I just don't, And so,
even when I was a kid, it was always on Disney XD.
Yeah.
I had to watch those cartoons.
Oh, I was a big Cartoon Network guy. I was watching Samurai Jack when I wasn't supposed to. Like Samurai Jack, I didn't delve too much into it, but I did watch like 1 or 2 episodes of like Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Like those shows, you know, like Powerpuff Girls, that kind of stuff, you know, Cartoon Network type stuff.
And Chowder?
Oh yeah, I remember Chowder. My dad loved that show back in the day. Because he thought it was so stupid. Which it is, but it's funny, you know?
Yeah.
But, what were we talking about? Yeah, so Disney, they'll do their own thing. They got this. Marvel's Avengers Campus opens up this year, which is in Disney Land, the one in California.
Yeah, Disneyland.
Yeah, they have Avengers Campus opens, I think, July 1st. Or June 1st. One of the first of those months. It opens up. It's basically like how they have Star Wars Land.
Yeah.
But this is all Marvel. And it's called Avengers Campus, and they have a massive building that looks like the Avengers headquarters that they had in the last Avengers movies.
That's cool.
And it's like and then they have like voiceovers of different characters that are there that are played by the actors that played them in the movies. Like Spider-Man's, like Tom Holland's Spider-Man's there, and I think you'll be able to, which everything's going to be expensive because that's Disney theme parks for you. Like you can create your own lightsaber at Star Wars Land, and it's like $1,000 or whatever, you know. Well, not that much, but like at least $100 or $200. And then the drinks and food are always pricey that are like the themed food, you know.
You get the little BB-8 shaped Coke.
You know, or you can get the blue milk that Luke had in The Last Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
and so, like, Star Wars will have that. They'll probably have, like, an authentic replica Captain America shield for, like, $500 or something, you know. It's like, it's not made out of the adamantium or vibranium or whatever, you know. But it'll still be, like, heavy metal and expensive, you know. They'll have a fully functioning Iron Man suit for you to buy. No, they don't have that. I mean, I wish. I would love to have an Iron Man suit.
Jarvis.
I'd love to have just Jarvis, like, in my house, you know? Just be able to pull things up and all that just out of nowhere. But, yeah. And have you ever been to Disneyland? Or Disney World?
Been to Disney World when I was a kid.
Same. I went when I was like 5, and that was the last time
There was too many people, it was too hot.
It rained when we were there one day.
I went there in like June.
Yeah.
And there was like, you're just walking down the streets elbow to elbow, and it's like, South Florida, it's like 100 degrees. It was like, I gotta get out of here.
I felt that way too. Like, I don't remember much about it. I remember watching some play that was like Goofy and Mickey were all there, you know. And I had a popsicle, but it was summertime. So basically I just had melted popsicle all over my hands. And I just had like sticky hands for like an hour or two watching this, and this play was outside.
Oh.
So it was like I'm over here trying to eat a popsicle, but I can't eat it fast enough where it's all running down my hand, you know. And it's like, what the crap am I doing here? Like, yes, I said that when I was 5 years old. No, I didn't say that. But, like, I would go, honestly, if there weren't as many people, like, I would go to Star Wars and see it because I'm pretty sure it's cool.
What I think would be cool to me now would be Epcot.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, I didn't care about Epcot that much because it wasn't like, oh, it's all these toys and rides. It was like, but I think it'd be cool, like all the different country stuff they have there.
Yeah. And you can go to Avatar Land.
I haven't even seen the Avatar movie.
Fair.
I heard it was boring.
It's long.
I heard it was slow.
3 hours, I think. It's close enough, and they're making like 4 more. They're already filming the second one.
That movie came out like 10 years ago.
Yeah. The guy who directed it was...
Is that a James Cameron movie?
Yeah. I was about to say, because he was the one who did the original Terminator movies. And Titanic.
I haven't seen Titanic.
I haven't seen it either.
I have no interest.
I've seen the end of it. It's long. It's like a 3.5 hour movie too. Or 3 hours. all his movies are butt long, you know.
Big boat sinks. There you go. There's the plot.
I mean, yeah. And then,
I don't care about the love story. I want to learn about the boat.
Never let go, Jack. And then she let go and he fell and drowned while she had an entire door to herself, and she could have easily pulled him up. But instead, she's like, you know what? Get out of here. And drop him in the water. And he can't swim, apparently. So, I don't know. It's confusing to me. I never watched it. I've read the books that are based on the true stories from people who were on the Titanic. And they talked about being there and stuff. I only read them for high school, though.
You had to read them?
Yeah. And so, yeah. Disney. So, yeah. So, real quick, talk about me and you. We're living in the new generation.
Just of people?
No. Of gaming.
Oh, yeah.
We're living in the next generation because you have the Xbox Series S, which is the digital version of the newest Xbox. And I have a PS5.
It's true. I was able to find it in stock, so I rushed to order it, and it was a great decision.
So, how would you relate it? Because you had an Xbox.
I had the 1S.
You had the 1S, and now you have the Series S.
Yeah.
How would you relate this to being better than the 1S?
It's way faster.
Yeah.
Like, loading into like a game of Madden or Call of Duty match was like 20, 30, 40 seconds sometimes. This one, you're in the game in a second and a half or less.
Yeah.
Everything about it is smoother, faster, better graphics. The only complaint is that they didn't change the user interface at all. Like the menus and everything look the same. Which you remember, like going from like 360 to Xbox One, it was like totally different.
Yeah.
I wish they would have tweaked that a little bit, but you know, it's remarkably faster.
Yeah. You take faster over an interface.
Yeah.
Any day of the week. Like, oh, it looks pretty, but it's slower. You know? Like, PS5 on the PlayStation side of things, it's different than the 4, but it's also the same. Mm-hmm. As in, the switching the games is a newer thing. The controller feels better. They're heavier. The PS5 controller is heavier than the 4. You don't have the newest controllers, do you? Or you got that with the Series S, but you don't have like an Elite controller.
Those are like $200.
Because they're saying, because there was like a list of like the 10 best controllers ever made, and it was like number 1 was the PS4 controller, and number 2 was like the Elite 2, which has got that weird pad.
That one comes with a lot of different parts, and you can kind of make it yourself. It's really cool. I just can't justify buying one.
It's like, if you had a bunch of money, maybe. You know.
If I had a bunch of money, there's a lot of things I'd buy.
If I had a bunch more money, I'd buy me an Xbox too. Like, I'd buy me the Series S, or the X even. And I'd have to build a house. That way I can fit everything in there. You know, like, I ain't got enough room in just my room for the Xbox Cube to put it anywhere, you know? Like, I have to put it on the ground somewhere.
Tower.
Like, I think it'd be pretty cool to have it, you know? But, like, it's... I don't know. Like, I'm a PlayStation guy. And, like, what can I play? What can I not play on PS5 that I would be able to play on Xbox besides Halo?
Any future Bethesda game?
Oh, well, yeah.
They just bought them.
Oh, well, yeah, you're right. Microsoft did just buy Bethesda. So, like, I mean, I would get it, you know, for, like, the next Doom game, like I said, or maybe another Fallout game whenever they make that, which they probably will, like Fallout 5 or whatever, you know, will be the next one. But
it'll probably be good since 76 was so bad.
Oh, well, yeah. Which, they said it's a little bit better now, but I don't believe it. I'm not going to buy it. I mean,
I could download it for free. It's on Game Pass now, but
yeah.
Why would I want to play that?
I mean, you're right. But
that game was a failure.
Yeah, like I'm not investing anything into that game. So yeah, really excited about anything that comes out of more news from PlayStation and of Xbox as well. And to go ahead and end this episode off on, I was going to go ahead and ask you that, how have you been during this past year of COVID?
Man, it's been a pretty good year for me. Made a lot of progress personally. Improved my grades a lot. I got into my dream graduate school program. Only school I applied to and I got accepted.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really lived any differently the last year. And it's just trying to focus on what's important to me and do things daily to make those happen.
Yeah.
Because nobody's gonna do anything for me, so I don't like just sitting around and wasting time. So
Yeah.
It's been a different year, that's for sure, but I'm not letting anything get to me or scare me too bad.
Yeah.
Just being careful and doing what I need to do,
Yeah, I got you. Well, that's good,
Really excited to be done with undergrad.
Yeah.
That's for sure. This online school crap is so bad, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not learning anything. I'm still paying the same price as I was when I was in class.
Yeah. And then you'll be able to say that you have your a college degree.
Yeah.
Just to be able to say it, have that piece of paper. And then you'll be moving up over to your dream in the big CO.
Yep, Colorado.
Yep.
That's going to be a cultural change.
Oh yeah. And a weather change as well.
I'm happy about the second thing.
Yeah.
The weather's beautiful up there.
You're going to be running around in the snow, living it up, skiing.
I'll be sitting on my porch with some coffee looking at the snow.
Yeah. And then get out there and shovel the snow.
Throw Francie out. Francie, you going to say anything? She's taking a nap.
She got sick of it. So, well, was there anything you'd like to add to end this episode off on?
No, man. I just appreciate you having me on. Let me talk for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's always good to catch up and enjoy a little Sonic.
Yeah, you're right.
That's kind of what we always do.
You're not wrong.
It's kind of just the same thing we do every time we hang out. We just recorded it.
Yeah, this is basically the same. This is like a weekly type thing, almost.
Whenever the KF console drops, that's when you gotta have me on again. We'll talk about the KFC gaming station with the chicken warmer.
I mean, you may be in Colorado when that happens, but
it's too important. I'll get in the car.
I'll
be back.
Yeah. I'll have to have a Zoom meeting and show it off to you.
I'll drive from there to here, and stop at every store along the way to find the KF console.
From Colorado back to Louisiana.
Yeah.
Which is a long way.
I have to acquire it.
Yeah.
I have to be able to have my chicken
Go to
nuggets.
every Best Buy. Maybe you can only buy them in a KFC.
When I go to Kentucky.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not wrong.
I'll go to KFC store number 1.
Go to the KFC HQ and find it. Colonel Sanders' home. Go to his grave. Yeah, go to Colonel Sanders' grave.
Colonel, I need the console.
He buried the first one with him, even though he's been dead for like 20 years. So.
Did you know that he started his own restaurant? Like he was
after KFC.
Yeah.
I think
he was so upset with the way that what KFC had become and the way they were running it.
Yeah.
That in his hometown, he just started a local chicken diner and just ran it himself.
Yeah, he couldn't call it. Well, I mean, he can't call it KFC because they own the rights.
I think he named it after his wife.
Yeah. I don't think it worked out.
I don't know.
I mean, it could have, but he started Zaxby's to rival it. Popeyes.
Oh.
Yeah, he started it all. The Colonel.
He secretly started every chicken joint.
I mean,
except Chick-fil-A.
No, he didn't start that. So, well, thank you for being here.
Yes, sir.
And being a guest. Hopefully you'll be on in the future. Maybe once a little while after you're in Colorado. May have to check up on you then.
Tell you about the mountains.
Yeah, and tell me how them mountains are looking, you know. So, thank you once again for being here.
Yes, sir.
As always, please rate and subscribe. And if you're listening on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. And click that bell to get notified when new videos are uploaded. And make sure you follow the Toddcast only on Instagram at @the_Toddcast_ for all your Toddcast social media needs. Make sure you tell your friends and your family or anybody really to give it a listen. And thank all of you for listening to this episode. And if you want to know what's going to happen next week, well, I guess you're just going to have to tune in to find out. Only on the Toddcast.